Welcome to Foster Career Experience, a podcast featuring interviews with people who've had experience with the foster care system, about their lives, their career journeys, and their stories of navigating the workplace. We all bring unique histories with us on our jobs, and by understanding each other's experiences, we can make the workplace better for everyone. Today's episode features Miles, a Gen Z college student. I spoke to Miles during his last semester before graduating, so by the time you hear this, Miles will have already graduated with his bachelor's degree. Congrats, Miles! Here are his thoughts and his stories in his final semester.
I like to say I'm a pretty laid-back person, I guess. I like kind of like being like someone that people can open up to, and for me, like personally, I find it a lot easier to open up to people that like aren't super serious.
Miles' smile lights up our Zoom screen, and he has plans with his friends immediately after our interview. But Miles hasn't always found it easy to connect. When he was young, Miles was very outgoing, but throughout his time in foster care, he had to shrink parts of who he was to fit the space that felt safe to occupy.
When I was growing up, anyone will tell you, like my mom, my brother, or anything like that, I was like probably like one of the loud, most obnoxious kids you'll ever interact with. I was like always the one that'd be like, Mom, come over here, look at this. And that was me. And it wasn't until like up when I was put into foster care that like that all kind of like just shut down. I guess it was like almost like a coping mechanism with what was going on, that like, because I didn't want to like, express myself just for the world, just be like, well, this is your fault, something like that. But like I said, it was like just around like maybe 2-3 years ago that I really I guess kind of got back into like that childlike energy.
Miles entered foster care when he was 12.
So I grew up with my mom for about 12 years, and not to go into too much detail because it's a whole story, but TLDR is she had some really bad mental issues that caused her to lose custody of me, and that's what originally put me into foster care. I grew up in a foster home that didn't really care for me much at all.
At one point, Miles' caseworker gave Miles the choice to stay with his foster family or to live with his aunt and uncle. Miles decided to move out of state to be with his aunt and uncle, and over the years, Miles felt the need to keep his head down and to not rock the boat in their house. When he graduated from high school, Miles wasn't originally planning to attend college. However, his caseworker told him that he could attend a 4-year university for free using a waiver available to foster care youth.
I don't believe my aunt and uncle ever went to college. I'm pretty sure they didn't. And my biological parents never did, I know for a fact. So I was like first generation, completely new to this, didn't really have any like, support connections or systems or anything like that. And I was going to a new college that was halfway across the country. So with that information in mind, what my caseworker told me, I simply just applied, put down that I was in foster care, put down all the information on my FAFSA and all that, and just assumed the best.
Miles' caseworker told him that he would be eligible for a waiver in Virginia because that's where he had entered foster care before moving to Texas to live with his relatives. Miles attended a university in Virginia for 3 weeks before he learned that wasn't the case.
So I flew all the way up there, started college, but I did not get any of the financial aid I was told. And so I ended up having like a $55,000 tuition bill for the semester because I was getting out-of-state tuition on top of the fact that I didn't have any financial aid. And I was just like screwed at that point. So after I got in contact with one of the deans, and the deans helped me out.
The deans got Miles' tuition backdated, which means that he wouldn't need to pay the out-of-state tuition bill, and he was able to register for courses at a Texas university instead. However, Miles is still ineligible for free tuition through the waiver program in Texas. Miles has talked to his caseworker, lawyer, CPS, DPS, and others to get his tuition waived.
Trust me, I've argued just about every person that has an ear and has the power to change something, and they have always told me, it's always come back. I've talked to DFPS while I've been here. I've talked to CPS. I've talked to just about every name you could think of and every big top dog, and it's always just come up with like, yeah, I don't really know how to help you. So I was like, all right.
Miles is graduating with his bachelor's degree in December, and he hopes he'll be eligible for a waiver for graduate school.
Luckily, the person I work under and like our team at like the foster care program here at ASU has been super kind, and they've been really, really like pushing as hard as they can, calling up every possible number to see if they can get me a tuition waiver so I can attend and get my master's here.
Miles learned about the foster care program through an email he received from the university about a part-time job opportunity 2 years ago.
My first 2 years at college were definitely very isolated. Like I said, I had just moved back from Virginia when I got here, and I didn't talk to anyone. I didn't interact with anyone. It was do my work, keep your head down, get through college. You'll figure it out whenever you graduate.
It really wasn't until I took this job that I started to kind of like put myself out there.
Now, Miles plans events for other students to help them connect to campus services and to fellow foster care alumni. The foster care program typically hosts 3 events per month: a life skills event, an academic event, and a social event.
One of the main things is really just what we're really trying to do is we're just trying to get students in the program to like know that like we're there, you know what I mean? Like I said, it's so hard for especially for them to, you know, like make that extra step and say like, hey, you know, I need this or I need that. And so like getting them out of their comfort zone, you know, making them come out to these movie nights and making them come out to, you know, like our Christmas parties or Halloween parties or whatever else we'll throw on. And, you know, that's like really like what it's about. And it's just getting them like able to access the resources that we want to give them, you know. My community, I guess, to me is really just like the people I work with every day, and especially like the people that we help, you know. We're a very like tight knit space, I guess, if that makes sense. Like it really does feel like a family a lot of the times because we all come from backgrounds. Well, like both me and my coworker that I work with, not my boss, but me and my coworker and all the students, we all came from foster care backgrounds, so we all kind of, you know, have that experience and we know what it's like, and it makes it a lot easier to bond. And so I guess it's a comforting feeling, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, and that other people out there, you know, have kind of like felt the same thing you have, and so we empathize with each other. And
During college, Miles has also explored new careers.
First, going into college, the biggest thing I wanted to do is I wanted to work in like computers, and it wasn't until I have a super huge passion for them. I love building them, and I love working with them, and I love like all the programming sides, and just I find them fascinating. And so that was always a big draw for me. But it wasn't really until I got to college that I realized, I guess, like I had an epiphany. Like it was when I first moved out of my adopted parents' house, I should say. And it was really one of those things where I guess I just kind of asked myself, like, you know, like, is this really like what's going to make you super happy in life?
Miles realized that what made him happiest was helping others. He could see the direct impact that the foster care program had on him and the difference he was making in the lives of his fellow students.
It feels wonderful. Seriously. I mean, I just don't know what other adjective could describe it. I don't think that if I had gone through what I did, I don't think I could be in the position where I am now. Maybe I would have grown up and just, you know, had a computer science major, and I would have been purely content with just sitting, you know, working a 9-to-5 desk job programming all day, and that's all I would have done. So I'm very happy that I could have had the ability and gone through the tough times that I did to make sure that maybe someone else down there who's had an even rougher time, you know, I can help them out a little bit.
In his part-time job with the foster care program, Miles has found ways to use his struggles as opportunities to empathize with others. Now Miles wants to pursue a career in social work so that he can help others full time.
I want to get my master's in social work, and like that's really been like one of my biggest draws. Working at this program has really like changed my outlook on life and just in general. And I am fortunate enough to have had a lot of support, you know, going through college, and that's probably the only reason I've been able to make it so far. And so like one thing I just really want to learn is the knowledge I need to like help others. And that, you know, the master's degree it might just be a piece of paper, you know, like that gets me to the job I need to, but it's really the skills like you learn along the way that have been super beneficial to me. And this program has taught me so much, and I will be forever thankful that hopefully one day I can help people like me.
Miles has helped so many people already simply by tapping back into who he is that loud, obnoxious kid who loves to smile and tell jokes. By being himself, he makes it safe for others to do the same. And he's just getting started. Thanks for listening to this episode. This podcast was created and hosted by me, Sam Heimbach. It was produced by Zachary Webb. Podcast art and website design are by Hannah Fenvez of HMF Design. Music is from Soundstripe. This podcast was funded in part by the Baton Savoie Scholarship offered through the Human Dimensions of Organizations Master's Program at the University of Texas at Austin. You can learn more about this episode and others at fostercareerexperience.com. Thank you.